Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here in a very important video. This is a sanding stick with very coarse sandpaper on this side here. Where I'm at in this stage of the game on the neck here is I glued two pieces of fur together for, here's the heel and here's the neck. And then I glued this pre-slotted fretboard on top of it, glued it, and then clamped it and let it dry. I did round this thing here with the router, they call the half-inch round router, all the way up to here, and that's how I get my profile here on the transition between the neck and the headstock on the back. But what I wanted to show you on this right here is this sanding stick is so convenient. Oh my gosh. So what I do is I take off all the edges all around the headstock on every corner, side, and I just like really round them so it looks like it's just kind of smooth. Now, I am going to go back and sand it and make it, and I am going to make it smooth, but there's sections that I'm going to leave, like this little section right here that's got the original cut and then some paint. That a lot of times the tips, but definitely the two sides. So this side over here is the same thing. It's just kind of dirt and original cuts from when this board was original. Now, next, I just switch over to the other side, which is a little bit smoother. Or I can go right to the sandpaper, it doesn't matter. I also wanted to point out here this little screw on the back. So this part is glued and screwed. I took these screws out here because I had to cut through here and I didn't want those screws that were popping out to hit my blade, so I took these screws out. But this one here I left in there. Now this one here is actually going to be outside of the box. Here's the box, and that screw is going to be visible from the outside here. This one is. So what I did is I went ahead and I took the sandpaper and I just attacked that screw, and so you can see it's got half the paint missing on it as well. Again, so that little stupid little silly little thing right there, in my opinion, is what makes this a real cigar box guitar. You say, what do you mean by that? It's like, man, you know, if this was like made in China or made in a factory or whatever like that would be a brand new screw, and it wouldn't have the soul and just the legitimacy that having a screw that's been and actually you can still see the cuts also in the grain so it's sanded, but not sanded enough to take out those saw blades cuts. See? So once I hit this thing with stain, man, that's just gonna pop. Oh yeah, and look at this discoloration in the wood right there. It's like, oh my gosh, the stain's gonna really pop that, and same thing with this little knot right here. So next I'm gonna do is sand it up and then stain it up. I also want to point out these corners, because these are sharp corners. This stick here is perfect for taking those edges off. See, look at that. So now there's, you can get it freaking perfect with this thing here, dude. Just nice and the rounded edges and stuff. Same thing with this leading edge right there. It just takes it off, so it's not like a sharp, but actually nice and smooth and rounded. This cat's in that seat. This cat's asleep in that seat. And this cat's standing on my chair. So yeah, so I'm a dog whisperer, and Mojo's been telling me he wants to be in the band. And I'm like telling him, dude, I don't have a band. And he says he wants to help build cigar box guitars. And I tell him, dude, you don't even have opposable thumbs, dude. How can you build cigar box guitars if you don't have opposable thumbs? He doesn't understand. We got 2 colors of stain. Walnut and this espresso gloss. I was curious to see what the espresso gloss is going to do, so I'm going to experiment over here in this section that's going to be inside the box. I'll experiment with that espresso, but the rest of the neck I did want to do walnut. So here we go. Well, I guess I'm not going to be doing anything with this espresso gloss. Reason being is because this is like hard as a rock, dude. It's like, oh wow. Ah. All right, that was dumb. I just spilled a whole bunch of stain on my workbench. I cleaned it up as best I could, but yeah, that stain's pretty bad. Good thing I got some extra squares. But I'm actually kind of, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think I'm going to leave it. Maybe just cover it with a little bit of sawdust and just kind of incorporate that into the design, into the motif of the workshop. I always really enjoy wiping off the stain and revealing, like, ta-da, the grain. It's always like an exciting part of this, especially the parts you were curious about, like where that knot was and the way the discoloration was going to take. Yeah, oh my gosh, look at that. That is just yummy. And you can really tell the difference between the walnut and that espresso, especially on the back there. But look at those saw cuts. Oh my gosh, isn't that just awesome? Those blades are just digging in. Right here you can see them both. You have like blades going this way and then blades going this way. So awesome. I wanted to point out that color match, look at that. The color of the wood matches the stain of the stain. That's what I call stain. All right, on this one, on the notch, I'm gonna do this one a little bit different. I do have the centering template. I also have one of these kind of templates. And I just find the center, find the width of the neck, start cutting, but I need to know how deep to make the notch. And so what I do is I just take this distance right here, below the fretboard, and I measure that distance by looking out here. I just set it down here, mark it, and then on this particular build, I'm going to use a little mini saw blade. Snap! Just like that. Now that I put these two together, it looks to me like I should probably stain this box so that this wood matches to this wood. Because right now it's just kind of, it's not married very well. So let's go ahead and stain this wood. Whenever you stain after you've done the fret slots, you need to go back with your saw and clean out the fret grooves, because sawdust and stain get in there, and you can actually just see it, but you wouldn't want to put your frets in with all that dirt in there, because then you might not be able to get the fret down enough. You know, you might have a high fret because that dirt won't let the fret go down. So this way you ensure all your frets are the right height. I found some of these copper nails, and they're about an inch, but they're quite long. And so what I did is I just got the wire cutters and took them down to about half an inch. And then I took them to the grinder over there and I ground these things and turned them into little sharp little nails. Look at that. And so now I matched up the shank thickness with the just slightly undersized drill. And then I put a piece of tape to tell me exactly how deep to go, so that so I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it on some practice wood first before I go trying it on this. This is how this works. And you only go till the tape hits. That's how you know how deep to go. And then to countersink it, what I do is I get a drill bit that's about the same roundness as the head of the nail. And then I make it go backwards. So now it's going backwards. And I just countersink it just enough, not too much. It's kind of like that Goldilocks zone, right? You want to pound the nail in, but you want it to go in nice and easy. And again, you're just going to feel, make sure that it's nice and flush. And voila, copper nails for the position markers. You guys would be proud of me. I washed this cup. I washed it out prior to putting my tea in here. So I got some water, put some water in this tea kettle. Made me some tea. Smells awesome. Black tea. Yummy. I did want to show you this guitar here. This guitar here I actually gave to my daughter. It's hers. It's number 245. Now, I looked in here and there is no bracing on this. So this is just the box. No volume, no nothing, just a couple of sound holes. Oh, I just have the Lowe's fretboard and screws for the top position markers. It's a 25-inch scale neck. But because the top is not braced, there's no bracing, listen to this sound here. Isn't that cool? Perfect intonation. If you're wondering why I'm using this finger, it's because this finger's got a huge splinter in it. And so sore. Ow! I need to write a song called I Got a Deep Splinter Blues. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed these videos. Be sure to watch the next video in this series and you'll see the ending of this guitar. Let me just go grab it real quick so you can see it before we say goodbye. Yeah. So I did stain the box and it's nice and sticky. That's why my hands are all nice and sticky. So those copper nails are gonna look really nice. Oh yeah, I did stain the box with that, the same stain that I stained my countertop with over there. It's called Espresso, and it does have a gloss to it. Look at that. So anyhow, I usually don't stain these boxes, but and I did kind of wipe it off around the logo just to kind of give it some vibe. But dude, doesn't that look cool? Seriously, dude, come on. So yeah, so this one's gonna be a looker. Definitely gonna be a looker. All right, guys, be sure to subscribe and sub and comment, and see you guys in the next video. Cheers.